My name's Julius Owino, but also I'm known as Juliani. I'm a hip-hop artist, and I have a passion for community and empowerment.
Yeah, exponential potential. Wali to the row. Aha, aha, aha. Who's laughing now? Exponential potential.
So, let's say there's a PT called Pete, and there's Yasin, who's a random young person in Dandora. When you see Pete, the PT, laying somewhere in the ground, you see flood, you see waste, you see bad environment, you see all the bad things that comes with plastic. Pete the PT. When Yasin is just randomly sitting somewhere, you see 2 or 3 things. You see idle young person, you see a dangerous young person, you see a vulnerable young person, and you see an uncontrollable young person. But what if we have something that can bring all these people together and turn this energy that is with Pete the PT and Yasin into something valuable? So that's why we have the customer border, the Taka Bank. What it does is that it brings all these people together. So there is value in Yasin, there is value in Pete the PET. Because if Pete the PET end up in the right hands, it means Yasin get to make money. Pete the PET end up in the right hands, it means it becomes more. It becomes a fabric, it becomes a tile, it becomes a roof. It becomes useful. If Yasin makes money, it means he's less vulnerable in the street. It means he can provide for his family. It means he can provide for himself. It means his dignity is restored. So the Taka Bank, what it does is just analeta pamoja. So how it works is simple. After using Pete the PET, you come and bring him at a Taka Bank. That's the first option. And then Yasin will welcome Pete the PET. And what Yasin will do is that make sure Pete is safe and on his journey to somewhere that he will be useful. How it does is that we use of course the structure, the trash ATM, and we use the online platform. And the person who met Pete the PET on the street and brought Pete the PET, it means the person may get to be rewarded and appreciated for their effort. So in Amanisha, when every time they bring Pete the PET, it's converted into points. The points they can use to buy anything on our website if they accumulate enough. What made me create or come up with Dunda Hip Hop City? Because based on my experience living in that kind of environment. And in that kind of environment, sometimes the only thing that somebody needs is affirmation, or the only thing that they need is resources and rely tools. And they will create whatever they need to create. So you can be a musician, you can be an entrepreneur, you can be just an idler, and you want a place to belong. We create a place for you to belong. And we provide the resources, tools, and a space for you to be whoever you want to be. So that's why we created Dunda Hip Hop City. So how DHC and Customer Border came about? So like 4 years ago, we were trying to raise money to buy the building at DHC. And we were going around trying to talk to people to support. So of course it's easy for me as Juliani, I can always knock a door. But it was not forthcoming because maybe I wasn't presenting it well, whatever it is. So when we went back to Dandora, and I was going to the building as often as I can to see it and just do a down payment and whatever, we realized that the only thing we have in this space is trash and a dump site. Of course we can see it and look at the negative side of it, but also we thought the positive side of it. So everything that is produced or is used in Nairobi end up in Dandora. So it means that some of the things that even in the dump site, Dandora people have never even seen or used. They just see the packaging. So growing up, we used to see all these things, but we don't even know where it came from. So we know it came from somebody. So we use that as an opportunity to say, okay, actually we have partners here now. These are the people who use this and the people who produce this. So we, instead of saying, which is not proactive, is for us to say, okay, these are resources. Can we use this as an entry point to have a discussion about anything else? So we started Customer Border then, and we had like, it was an SMS platform. And SMS didn't work, and we were figuring out how it works or the best way to interact with people. So we had partners there, we had Safaricom who came by, because we were rewarding people for being responsible consumers. So instead of, once you buy something and instead of throwing it randomly, we want you to keep it, give us, that means you're responsible. You care where this plastic or this PET end up. So that's how we ended up now, until today, came up with Customer Border and Taka Bank. So for us, we're trying to say that everything that, and it's the same for people like us who grew up in Dandora. And we're having this conversation today, and we're like, mtu yote akiona mtu ametoka Dandora, there is certain reactions that you always expect. Msichana kibeti yake a certain way, wanaona ukienda kwa buffet utapakwa chakula mingi kuliko kila mtu ujaza sahani, unaona. That's what people if they see what in my setting. Yeah, so we saw ourselves as trash, as people who don't have an opinion or don't have a thinking. We always felt like we're never being heard. And that was the philosophical angle to it, is that we always thought that we have to be loud to be heard. So in a mancha, you have to carry a gun. So if you have a gun in your hand or a knife, it doesn't matter how big somebody is, they will obey you. So that's how we took our power back. But that was negative, and it never got us anywhere. It still doesn't. But what if we look at ourselves as a resource? We look at ourselves as people who have something to offer. So it's the same metaphor we use for trash. When you see a PET bottle, imagine the possibility of what it can become. When you see a random young people sitting somewhere, imagine the possibility of what they can ever become. They can later become a musician, they can ever later become. So that's the kind of thinking we have when it comes to trash and waste. And Customer Border, KAM, whatever, we just facilitate that process to happen.
Niko njaa hata siwezi karanga, uwe hai shagala bagala, niko tayari kulipa gharama, sitasimama maovu ya kitawala, sitasimama maovu ya kitawala.
Where I see young people fitting into the value chain, just as I was saying, a friend of mine called Gilad Milo once said that young people are not idle, they are available. And the same thing you can see about waste. Like if you see it somewhere, laying somewhere, or a product packaging is somewhere, it doesn't mean it's waste. It just means that it's not in the right hands. So with that in mind, it means that if everything is put in good use, it can always create value. So when I talk about young people and in the value chain, I think they fit in different levels based on skill, based on interest, and based on whatever. But it's for us to create those spaces for them now to come out and do what they have to do to be part of the circular economy. So they fit in different levels, but we don't know because we have never even engaged. Even musicians fit into it. Young people who don't have a job fit into it. Young professionals fit into it. So we are the ones to engage consistently and continuously, be a little bit patient, so that both of us can learn and get value out of that. I got to start with working with KAM initially, of course, just as an artist, because the interest was how do you guys, how do KAM, of course, make noise or make people aware of the issue of environment and taking care of and taking responsibility as an individual, and how do they, of course, project to the world that actually the manufacturers are doing something. So I was just, in my capacity as an artist, I think that's why we got to on the table for conversation. But now later, of course, we got to share about what I was trying to do is the community, and I felt like the issue of waste went hand in hand with the issue of youth, and also it was also a great opportunity. It was an opportunity for more opportunities for a lot of young people, and if we were to look at waste, we look at it as a resource and not as waste. So I think we had that conversation and it made sense, and then now we decided to work together. Has KAM done anything? I mean, I can only use my example as because I've worked directly with me. So for me, KAM have of course supported Taka Banks. They welcomed the idea, even if maybe they didn't get a clue. They didn't, but they trusted that we onto something. For me, that was that affirmation from KAM, especially being a big organization, was something else. Because they can easily be upset we don't get it, but just the patience and the intent to work with you and as you figure it out. Because also us, as much as we knew the idea and we know the idea can work, we need to test it continuously on ground so that we achieve maximum, of course, value from it. So KAM has come a long way with affirmation and us knowing that we have a big brother or somebody looking and is interested in seeing us succeed. Also, of course, giving us people who buy back the waste that we collect, recyclers. So leveraging on their network has really helped. So we have worked with Mr. Green, now T3, and also we have other people we are talking to, see, based on just our interaction with KAM. So, and also if people actually hear that we work with KAM, they take us a little bit serious. So inasaidia kidogo, no? So I think the simple fact that KAM was able to take, not risk, but able to want to even open that door, or even able to listen, for us went a long way. Customer Bora is still a new idea, and we're implementing as we go. Whatever challenges we are in, we actually is a big experiment. So we have three stages three or four stages when it comes to setting up a Taka Bank. We have the initial invite to as many youth groups as possible, and then we have the training, and then we have the initial where we just put a banner like this on a kiosk. And then once the youth group meets a certain milestone, then we can set up a good structure for them. Or we can get them to do random mobile Taka Banks in different places as an opportunity for them. So for KAM to come and adopt the Taka Banks that they did, help us now achieve that more. So we want, but for us to even satisfy the demand, we have to have as many Taka Banks as possible. We have to have volumes. So that's what we don't have. We have 4 Taka Banks in Dagoretti, we have 4 in Dandora, we have Molem, and we have Embakasi. Interesting enough, we have 1 in Nakuru, and the Nakuru guys are something else. Unaona? So, but for us, in our mind, we're saying if we have 100 Taka Banks, it means we can see the full potential of what it can become. We can manage our expectations. We can manage we can anticipate how many volume of waste we need to collect in which area and whatever. So we can have the experiment fully. We can have one in Kilimani. We just have the informal settlement. So the small that we have are managing to get the rhythm. But we have 100, and if we have 1,000 across Nairobi, and we have the Taka Express service that we give where people can hail and we collect. If we run it consistently, then we can be able to satisfy the demand that we have right now of waste, or PT specifically. So in Manisha, like T3, their demand is 25 tons a day. We need to have enough Taka Banks and collect enough volumes to supply that demand. And other of course, recyclers.
Who's laughing now?
I got into environment space because me as Juliani, as an artist, it took somebody to provide an environment for me to even be who I am now today. When you saw me somewhere just like Yasin Unioneko street huko, I'm trouble. But somebody else saw something else in me. I became useful. So I became useful and started doing music and became a musician. And my music in Amanisha, when people listen to that music, it does something to themselves, to them. So I became useful. So it's the same thing I'm saying when it comes to all these things that you're trying to do. Dunda HipHop City, Taka Bank. We're just providing an environment for people to be useful. Be it plastic, be it a random guy in the streets. And also we are creating meeting points for people from different thinking level, financial, whatever. So I think me as an artist, I stopped being an artist. I'm not stopped. I went beyond an artist and started becoming. I provide solutions. The same way I can provide solution through a song, I can provide solution through a creative process. I can provide a solution. Na even though tuna survive in Nairobi.
Who's laughing now? Exponential potential. Achana now.